I am thankful. I love tomato ketchup. 7 American inventions that changed Britain forever. It is lost in the pond. His links are in the description as always, but please wait till after this video before you go and check them out. American inventions that changed Britain. I actually can't really think of any off the top of my head, so I'm interested to see what the 7 are, and I'm interested to know if these 7 have changed my life. And then I'll be very thankful if they have. So let's get straight into it. Let's find out what we've got. Please like and subscribe down below. And leave a comment if you've got any suggestions. Let's go.
Just hide it in the bookshelf. America may not have invented the English language, but in its short time on Earth, it has invented plenty of other things. In fact, as somebody who's lived here for 1.6 decades, I've come to realise that these inventions impacted not just the United States, but the rest of the world, including Britain.
Now, before Uncle Toby clicks away thinking, what could Americans possibly have given us that we didn't improve with a stiff upper lip and a dollop of sarcasm? Hold your horses, because this isn't just about what's my line. I'm talking about those inventions that crept into our homes, our streets, and even our pockets. And there are so many of them that if this video does well, there will definitely be a part 2, and if it tanks, then just forget I said that.
Oh, and speaking of future videos, if you're subscribed to this channel, thanks.
Well,
if
I like
not,
that colour of the
that
microwave.
now.
And here.
In the meantime, without any more faffing about, here are 7 American inventions that changed Britain forever.
The escalator, invented in 1891 by American inventor Jesse W. Reno. The first functioning escalators were originally more of a Coney Island novelty than a practical solution. Picture this, 19th century thrill seekers stepping onto these mechanical wonders, treating them like the fairground attractions they were. It was less mind the gap and more hold on to your hat.
Meanwhile, across the pond, we Brits were quite happy with stairs. Climbing was practically a sport.
But by the early 20th century, escalators started to sneak into places like Harrods and the London Underground. And just like that, the British reluctance to embrace modernity crumbled, though not without...
Yeah, I stopped the recording. I'm back. I would not want to... Where is it?
And the London...
Would not want to be on the London Underground climbing up all them stairs.
Underground. And just like that, the British reluctance to embrace modernity crumbled, though not without drama.
Legend has it that the first riders were so unnerved by the experience, they were given brandy to calm themselves down. Today, escalators are found in shopping centres all across Britain.
And let's not forget the quintessentially British queuing etiquette that comes with it. Stand on the right, walk on the left, something largely eschewed in the United States. From American novelty to British necessity, the escalator proved that sometimes it's okay to take the easy way up.
I am thankful. I love tomato ketchup.
Ah, ketchup. Practically synonymous with American dining.
But did you know this popular condiment wasn't always the ketchup we know and love? Early versions were more like a fermented fish sauce from Asia. In 1812, an American scientist named James Meese became credited with the first recipe for tomato ketchup. However, it wasn't until another American named Henry J. Heinz got involved in the late 19th century that ketchup became the sweet, thick tomato sauce we slather on everything today. While Heinz ketchup started gaining a foothold in American life, it was also sold in the UK from 1886 onward. First as a novelty, now as a must-have.
Today, ketchup is a non-negotiable accompaniment to chips, bacon sandwiches, and, if you're feeling rebellious, a full English breakfast. And let's not ignore its role in settling family disputes over dinner. Red sauce or brown sauce.
So cheers to Heinz.
That is a common disagreement in our house, red or brown. I'm always red, James is brown. We're both trying to sway Archie into our own opinions, but he'll make his own opinion up when he's ready. He eats both at the moment.
Which also launched baked beans in the UK, paving the way for that most British of meals, beans on toast.
Of course, there are countless European inventions that reshaped American life, like, for example, the printing press. But in a 21st century world where news sources have their own political leanings, staying informed without falling into an echo chamber...
Electric guitar.
Strap in for this one, because this is one of the coolest inventions ever made, the electric guitar.
I'm not surprised
Depending
this
on
is
your
American.
definition of electric guitar, it was invented in the 1930s by a handful of American pioneers like George Beecham and Adolf Rickenbacker.
Originally designed to give jazz and swing musicians more volume, it quickly became the backbone of genres like rock and or roll. Now, Americans might have built the electric guitar, but the British helped to make it a cultural phenomenon.
By the 1960s, British bands like the Beatles, the Rolling Stones and the Who invaded the United States wielding Fenders and Gibsons. It's amazing they weren't tried for war crimes. Beatles. Suddenly, the electric guitar wasn't just an instrument, it was a symbol of rebellion, creativity, and occasionally smashed hotel rooms.
So here's to the United States for plugging in and turning it up. And here's to us for taking that six-stringed marvel and making chart history.
Mobile phone, yeah.
Next on the phone,
I've done
believe
it
it or
again.
not, the device that you're probably...
James is going to kill me for this. I've done it again. Mobile phone, I'm not surprised. This American, obviously, like all the iPhones and things we all know come from California. Apple, we know that. We know they're not made in California, just to clarify. I don't know if they're made in California, but I know that Apple is based in California.
list, the
Don't come for
mobile
me.
phone, and believe it or not, the device that you're probably holding in your hands right now started as a clunky, brick-like invention in America.
The first mobile phone call was made in 1973 by Martin Cooper, a Motorola engineer who reportedly called his competitor at Bell Laboratories just a gloat.
In the early days, mobile phones were seen as flashy gadgets for business executives and Wall Street hotshots.
But as the technology improved, their popularity skyrocketed, and by the 1990s, mobile phones were becoming a bigger thing across the Atlantic.
At first, we Brits were sceptical. After all, who needed a phone that you could carry when a red phone box worked just fine?
True.
But once prices dropped and networks improved, we were hooked, as were the red phone boxes.
Fast forward to today, and mobile phones are as essential in Britain as tea and biscuits. From texting mates about the football to snapping pictures of your Sunday roast for Instagram, they've become an integral part of British life, not to mention the world.
Sadly, we've not quite forgiven America for inventing autocorrect, but then neither has America. Either way, cheers to the mobile phone, an American invention that connects us all, one missed call at a time.
Who would have thought that a
Blue
pair of trousers
jeans.
designed for American
can't even
miners
see
would
them.
become a British wardrobe staple?
This is from
Enter
America?
blue jeans, invented in 1873 by immigrants Jacob Davis and Levi Strauss.
Originally made for rugged labourers, these durable denim wonders quickly became a symbol of American work ethic and soon American cool. La la la.
Yeah, look, you can't even. You can't.
By the
I've got blue
mid-20th
jeans
century,
on.
Hollywood icons
If you didn't
James
get
Dean
that.
and Marlon Brando were rocking jeans in films, turning them into a global fashion statement.
In the US, they were the ultimate symbol of rebellion and youth culture. Across the pond, however, Brits were a bit slower to embrace denim jeans. I mean,
Okay.
trousers were supposed to be formal, weren't they?
But then came a decade known to most as the 60s, when Britain began to emulate American subculture. And today, whether you're heading to a football match or riding the escalator at the shopping centre, chances are you've got at least one pair of trusty blue jeans in your wardrobe.
So thank you, America, for giving us trousers that can survive anything, including a drunken tumble into the River Freshney in 2005.
Wow. The
The microwave oven, the magical box that warms up your hot pocket, was an accidental invention.
Percy Spencer, an American Raytheon
great
engineer
invention.
and a man who apparently thought nothing of carrying chocolate bars in his pocket, discovered the power of microwaves in 1945. While working on radar technology, Spencer noticed that microwaves caused said chocolate bar to melt. And instead of wondering if he had an overheating problem, he accidentally invented the microwave. We've all done it.
By the 1970s, microwaves started to take off in US households, heralding in a new era of convenience. Americans were now free to create new delicacies like rubbery hot dogs, lava-like TV dinners, and of course, popcorn that's either perfect or charcoal. There really is no in between.
The device was an instant hit among families who no longer had time for the oven or basic movement. Meanwhile, across the pond, the British were initially sceptical. After all, why replace a cooker with a contraption that looked like it was borrowed from Star Trek? But slowly, we came around, realising that the microwave wasn't just for reheating last night's takeaway, but other stuff like, you know, Heinz baked beans.
True.
Today, you'll find it in kitchens across the motherland, saving countless hours that would have otherwise been spent making a full-on spag bol. Not that we've cut back on those either. And finally, the internet, an invention that forever changed the way we communicate.
For instance, right now, from the other side of the Atlantic, Uncle Toby is able to write, No, the internet were invented by Tim Berners-Lee, an Englishman. And while Berners-Lee did invent the World Wide Web, its related HTML language, and other stuff I don't understand, that's not the same thing as inventing the internet, Tobe, so shut it. Instead, it was a product of the US military, developed between the 60s and 80s as a project called ARPANET. The internet wasn't exactly intended for cat memes, but by the late late 1900s, this once clunky system of interconnected computers became the World Wide Web.
And I remember this, when the internet first showed up in Britain, it was a slow, screechy affair. Dial-up connections meant waiting ages just to load a single page, and heaven forbid that my dad picked up the landline mid-download.
But as broadband took hold in the early 2000s, the internet transformed British life, from how we shop and work to how we watch a YouTuber explain how the internet transformed British life. Today, whether you're binging Netflix, Googling the nearest chippy, or complaining about the Wi-Fi speed, the internet is woven into the fabric of daily life in Britain.
So cheers once again to America for inventing the internet, and to Sir Tim for actually making it work. If you
Thank you guys for watching. Great video by Lawrence as usual. Let me know any more inventions that have changed Britain, if you know them. Like, what else have you invented that's changed Britain? Because the ketchup one is definitely strong. Internet one is strong. Phone call is strong. A microwave. Me and James love microwave popcorn. So thank you so much, America, for creating basically our life. That is basically the four main things of our life. Yeah, and hopefully you guys have a fantastic day, and see you next one.